Hello there, today I will build a wedding tent and it will be like a Gothic wedding tent, and I think it turned out pretty nice actually. You have probably seen in the thumbnail how it will look like when it's done. So I hope you all had a great Halloween. I worked at Halloween, so I didn't do anything special at all actually. And in Sweden, Halloween isn't that big as it is in the US. So Swedish people doesn't do something very special, or not everybody at least. I know a lot of people go out drinking and dress as something scary, but that's the most of it, I guess. Also, kids can dress out as something and knock on doors, but I haven't had any kid knocking on my door for years, so I guess that doesn't happen that much anymore. Or maybe the kids just go to people they know, I'm not really sure. I didn't see anyone dressed up at Halloween this year at least, but I was at work so I wasn't out that much. But yeah, I hope you had a great Halloween. And here I have done the shape of this build, and I'm going to have this fountain around the whole tent. So here I'm just doing this terrain painting, and I will take away all walls in this build later. I'm just using it so I can place the curtains where I want them, so it will look like a tent. And in the front I will just have those pillars and not any curtains, because yeah, I don't know, but I wanted the wedding to be visible. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but I didn't want them to be hiding behind any curtains or like that. So here I'm just adding some details to make this look more Gothic. And here I will add this walkway to the street. And so the Sims can walk in here on this walkway. And first I wanted the walkway to go into the tent as well, but I will change this up because I didn't really like how it looked. This might be looking a bit more realistic than to what I'm doing now, but I like this more, to have like a red carpet, just like this. And this will be a little room where I will place a little sofa in. So maybe the bride and the groom will sit there and wait for the right moment to walk to the altar or something. And here I'm just adding these fountain details around it, because I think that looks a bit more nice. I will also be adding this really small fence around this walkway, so it look a bit better, I guess. And I will change those to red, and I think that looks really cool actually. I also like them in orange because it looks like fire almost. So it would be really cool to use those sometime in orange color as well. I haven't actually used these fountain things and used them in any color before, I think. So it was really fun to use them in this build, and it really makes this build a lot cooler, and it really fit to the Gothic theme as well. So it's really nice, I think. And here I will just add some benches so the guest can sit there and watch the wedding. And I also add this half wall, because when you go to the church you're sitting in like booths. And so I wanted to make this look a bit more like a church, I guess, even though this is just a tent. And I will also be adding those pillar flowers, or what they are called, here, because I think that's a nice detail for a wedding place. And I will also be adding piano and some guitars down here, so maybe there's someone playing the piano when the couple are getting married. And I think that's nice, because they would probably want some music in the background. And there I'm just adding this little fence around the walkway. And here I tried to find a fence that could fit to be around here. And this isn't probably not the best looking fence for this build, but I couldn't find anything better, so this will do for this build, I guess. And here I will build a little toilet so they can go and pee, because it wouldn't be a great wedding if all the guests peed themselves, which they would do without toilets. And one is for men and one is for women, so I made one room red and the other one grey. So yeah, it looks very female or male-ish, I guess. And yeah, just adding the toilet, the sink and a mirror here. Also some flowers, and soap can be good to have. And towels, of course, and more flowers. I also wanted to have a little painting there, because it looked very empty without anything. And then I'm just doing a little walkway down to this thing. I'm not sure what I should call it, but you can see what I am doing. And I will be adding like a little stage there and have some piano and guitars and a microphone there, so someone can entertain the guests. This will be a little kitchen, so you can hire someone to make the food on this wedding. And it's just a really small and cute kitchen in here. Yeah, it's black and white, I think, if I'm not changing anything up. I think it will stay in those colors. And I will be adding a few details in here as well. And I think it's really cute. I just hope all the guests won't go in here and make their own food, because you don't want the guests to be cooking on your wedding, I guess. But I think you need like a kitchen if you want to hire someone to cook. I also found this blue balloon thing, but it didn't fit to hang it up like that. But I wanted to have it somewhere in this build, because it was black and white and it was balloons, so I think it would really suit this build. And I just thought I would add some landscaping there, and I wanted to add like a flower here, but I ended up to add this fish fountain thing here instead. And yeah, I'm changing up those flowers. And here I'm going to add a lot of tables. So I'm using this from the luxury stuff pack, because I really like those tables. I think they really suit to have on like nightclubs or wedding tents or anything else. And then I'm using those fancy looking chairs, because I think that looks pretty Gothic. And here I will add a stage, like I said before. And I wanted to add some cool roofing on it to make it look a bit more detailed. But it's just a short roof, so it wouldn't really do anything if it could rain in The Sims or anything like that. But I think it looks a bit cooler. It looked a bit plain if I didn't add any roof on this. So here I'm just adding the microphone and the musical instruments so the Sims can play. And here I thought it would be looking good to have those balloons, so I placed them there. I also found this balloon and I wanted to use it. I know it doesn't really suit a Gothic place with white and pink balloon thing, but I really wanted to use it, so I kinda ignored that it didn't look Gothic. It suits a wedding at least, so I wanted to have it in this build. And here I will add a stereo, so the Sims can dance in that corner, because they will probably want to dance on a wedding. And here I wanted to add this thing also from the luxury stuff pack, because I think that's nice to the guests if they don't want to eat anything like a big meal. Maybe when they come to the wedding they might go there and eat some small food pieces, I guess. And then after the wedding they might eat some dinner. And here I'm adding the bar, because this is a wedding, of course they need a bar. And I used this same themed chairs as I used around the tables. And I wanted to add those sparkle things. I think they look nice. And I think they were from the Perfect Patio stuff pack. So I used the silver ones in the tent and the red and orange ones on this stage. And I really like how they look. I think I will use some of those in the front of the stereo as well, but I will add those in a bit later. So here I'm starting with the landscaping, and I'm using this, I think those are called something graveyard, even though this isn't a graveyard, but I like how they look like, so we will have them around this tent. And here I wanted some fancy landscaping, so I used those elephant bushes. And I'm just adding some rocks around them, and I will just have dirt under them, and then I will add some flowers around the rocks, just like this, because I think it would look a bit too crowded to have flowers under the elephants as well. And this isn't a place I wanted to look overgrown, because this is a wedding place, so I think they have a gardener working here who's taking well care of this garden. Then just placing some bushes there randomly and filling in with some terrain paint. And here I wanted like a big bush, but those big bush in the game was too big. And so here I'm adding those sparkles around this stereo, because that will be like the dance floor, I guess, on this build. And I had some hard time to decide which color I wanted, but I ended up with these red and orange sparkles. And here I'm just adding in some more bushes and flowers. And then I wanted to add some bushes around the whole garden as well. Because I think that looks nice to have this garden surrounded by something, so people can just walk in however they want to, because the Sims that are getting married here maybe not want anyone to get in here. And this will be like the book, the guest book, so every guest can sign and write something. I tried to add that feather pen there, but it didn't work. It just got in to the air, so I didn't use it. And here I'm just placing some light show thing and adding some more flowers in. And I guess this might look a bit overgrown to have this much flowers, but I think it looked a bit plain without anything. So I added this like this here, but it's not supposed to be overgrown or anything. But I wanted some more details. Also adding these flowers inside here. So I had to move the tables a bit, and it's a bit too small space there for 3 tables, I guess, but I think it works. Also placing some fun stuff here, so the kid will have something to do. Because I think this would be a pretty boring place for kids if there wasn't any kid stuff. So that's why I'm adding those there. And yeah, now I'm going to add lights in the build. And I think this is the last thing I will do. And then I will be finished with the build. So I didn't want to have too much lights in here, but I still wanted it to be light where they are getting married in case of they want to have a night or evening wedding. And here I'm just adding a lot of lights in all the bushes, because I think that looks nicer. And it looks a bit boring if all the bushes is just dark, I guess. And I'm adding some more lights all over the place so the Sims can see what they are doing in here. Also adding those romantic lights on all the table, because I think the Sims should feel flirty on this wedding, I guess. And lighting up the stage a little bit. And I think I'm done now. Yeah, just adding some more details. And here we have the screenshots. So I really hope you enjoyed this build, and I will see you soon. Goodbye!